If you're travelling to multiple destinations, I'm going to show you how Streamthru provides you with a travel guide, an events guide and weather forecasts for each destination in your itinerary. So let's have a look at an example trip. So here I'm flying from London to New York, staying in New York for a few days before flying on to Chicago and then coming back to London a few days later. Now today it's about a week before I'm going to travel, and Streamthru always shows me the most relevant information for the current stage of my trip. So at the moment it's giving me information about my first destination, which is New York, including a travel guide and a weather forecast. But Streamthru makes it easy for me to find out information about any of the destinations in my itinerary to help me to plan ahead. So for example, if we have a look at the weather, then not only are we looking at weather for New York for the next 5 days, but we've also got similar information for Chicago. If we look at the travel guide, by default we're viewing New York because that's the next destination in my itinerary, and we can have a look at some of the top places to go and visit in New York, or if we want to, we can start to look into categories, so places to eat within New York for example as well. But say I want to plan my activities in Chicago, then Streamthru allows me to do that simply by changing to another destination in my itinerary. So effectively I'm carrying 2 guidebooks with me, one for New York and one for Chicago, which is my other destination. We take a look at the Chicago travel guide, we can now see some of the top places to visit in Chicago, and again we can move down to have a look at places to eat, places to shop, and so on and so forth. Now, not only do I have this capability for the travel guide, but it's also available for the events guide too. So if I want to find out what's on when I'm in New York or what's on when I'm in Chicago, Streamthru lets me do that. Again, by default it's showing me New York because that's the next destination, or the first destination I'm travelling to. And we can see some of the top events in New York. Or again, we can look at events by category. Furthermore, we can filter events to look at just those ones that are during my trip, or events for today only. But let's say I want to find something to do when I'm in Chicago. Again, I could just change my destination and have a look at my Chicago events guide. And let's say I'm interested in going to a sports event. So we can open up the sports events in Chicago that are on during my trip. Again, everything's filtered just to show me things that are relevant for my journey. And if I want to go and have a look at or maybe I want to go and watch the Chicago Wolves, then we can bring up some information about this particular event. We can see where it's on, when it's on, how much it costs, and so on and so forth. And if I want to, I can actually add that event into my itinerary. Okay, so if we go and take a look at my itinerary, we can see now on March the 9th, the Chicago Wolves event is in there the day before I travel back to London. So we've seen really how Streamthru gives you the most relevant information for the current stage of your trip, including providing events guides, travel guides and weather forecasts for your current destination on your journey, but it also allows you to get access to the travel guides, event guides and weather forecasts for other destinations within your itinerary too.